All right. Good evening, everybody. Happy Thursday. Welcome to Ben's Brick Designs. I'm Ben. This is going to be in the way all night. Welcome. I hope you're doing well. Thanks for being here. Good evening, Missy. Good evening, Johnny. Appreciate you stopping by. Um, wasn't planning. Hello, Greg. Thank you for being here. Wasn't planning on being here tonight. I'll give you a little lowdown of what's been going on today. As you may have seen on social media and stuff, we got COVID last week, starting about Thursday. I wasn't feeling well, so I didn't do a stream, and that lingered until I'm still positive, still testing positive as of this afternoon. Haven't had any symptoms since Monday night, Tuesday morning. Symptoms first started Thursday. And tonight was going to be Star Wars trivia at a place here in Austin, and I was really looking forward to it because I'd written a round of questions that they were going to use, and so I was excited to be there. Plus, it was one of these pay to get in trivias, so we had to cancel. That had to be canceled. I couldn't go to any Austin FC supporter stuff to help with like getting the banners set up or the tifo set up. This week was supposed to be a major networking change at work, where we had somebody from our service provider network support group come out, fly out, stay with us, stay in Austin for like 2-3 days, help us get all this stuff set up. And both me and my boss got COVID. And we had to cancel that. So flights had to be canceled. Accommodations had to be canceled. All of our personal plans for the next week had to be canceled. And because I'm pretty sure that there was somebody who was sick and just came to work because they felt like they had to come to work when they were sick. So don't be a effing hero. If you're not feeling good, stay home from work. I know that some people can't do that, and I'm sorry if you can't, but you're going to get people sick if you don't. And it can ruin not just your day or, your coworker's day. It can spread. So like this guy who's flying in from Utah or California or wherever he is, that's his whole week. Now he's got to change plans, so it's like, okay. And then we have to redo it and reschedule it. So anyway, that's why I'm streaming tonight. Still a little congested, but the pollen's very high. I am planning on going to the Austin FC game on Saturday. So we'll see how it goes. Dune Part 2, yes, I want to see that as well. I think I'm waiting for a couple weeks or a week until my friends want to go see it with me. So anyway, so we're building this. This is what I'm working on now. This is why it's in the way here. It's a rather large tower. I'm going to try to move this a little bit so you can kind of see. So this is the base of the Mars base. And from here on up, this is all going to be an extension. It's not going to be built like this, although I might leave it. I don't know. But ideally, this is supposed to go on top of the rest of that Mars base. So the Mars base goes up to like here, and then this is all going to go on top of that. So this is just a placeholder. And I also wanted to see about how to build this area in here. So instead of, I don't know if you guys remember how these plates were popping off quite a bit in the last attempt. Instead of, so this is a Mills plate-ish design, and the idea was that under each one of these plates, and I think I can probably take one off without ruining it too much, was a bunch of these different 2x2 bricks, right? So they would they would come up to like the corners like this kind of thing, and then there might be one in the middle kind of thing, and then you repeat that for the whole thing. So there's a ton of these bricks. We got a ton of these 2x2 dark brown bricks, because then some of those could be used for landscaping too. So I've got bags. There's bags of this slopes and bricks for landscaping. So around this, we build, well, you've seen it, craters and hills and whatnot. So, but the 48 by 48 plate would bow, and it didn't matter how many bricks we put on that or how many plates, because the bottom would bow up. You could get these plates to stay down. So instead, I just lined the whole thing with these like 1 by 16 bricks, which means it was a couple short, so they overlap a little bit. But this seems to work out a little better. It holds the plate down a little more, and these don't pop off as much. And then the other thing I had to solve was this clutch issue. So we can find the clutch issue I had with these was there's no clutch issue, right? These fall off really easily, and they fall off really easy on here too, right? These aren't the great for holding on to stuff. They're just too top heavy. And that color, I think, is a little different. It feels a little different than the black. So, yes, it is huge. So what I ended up doing, and I can't really take it apart, but I'll tell you what I did was there's an axle hole in the bottom of this. So what I did was I got 2x4 brick that has the axle holes in it, and I put a little axle in there and then in here, and then I just built those down to the plate underneath. And then I just plated around these so it looks like they're on top. So that's how to solve that. It also fixes some of the stability issues. And then when I build the little arm things on the side, it doesn't matter if they fall off or not. I don't really care. They're not going to be supporting anything above it, so they're going to be attached to the habitat anyway, so they can just kind of sit there, and I don't care. So eventually, this thing is going to be transferred to the top of the habitat. And I know it's kind of hard to see, but what I'm going to be working on now is this area in here. So we can take some of this off. Inside here, should be easy to come off. Inside here is a big Technic cage. It's Technic, those Technic squares that are like lift arm squares, right? And then it has 4 arms on either side to go up to another Technic square that has 8 arms, 2 on each side to overlap, and then 4, and then 8. So it overlaps. So that builds from the bottom here, the bottom, all the way up to here. And then around it are just these sections, these slope sections, and some snot bricks like that, just attached like this. So that's what all these sections are. So I need to do some greebling for that, which is going to end up being like solar panels, and then these like graded bricks if I have enough of these, or serrated like gear bricks kind of thing. So yeah, it'll be fun. It's pretty stable. I don't want to wobble it too much, but like if I bump into it, it's not, if I bump into the table, it's not going anywhere. Hopefully. This Technic cage is just sitting on some plates down at the bottom here. It's just sitting like that. But it's also another Technic box, and that's sitting on some plates with some Technic lift arms coming off of that. So hopefully that doesn't come loose. And then at the top, get this back on here. The only problem is once you've kind of taken these off, they're hard to like push back on, because there's no real way to like get inside there. And then around it, I don't know if you can see these windows, they're just kind of stacked up on the bottom. Then they'll go up a level and have some plates go across to attach to each other. Then go up a level and plates go across, and that's where the snot bricks go. So these are attached there. And at the top here, I've got, and I'm going to redo it on this side, so I'll show you what I built over there. But my only concern with this is I haven't really built it to go anywhere. I haven't really built it to travel. So it may be a bit of a, let's just put it in a box and see if it makes it all the way to the show. So we'll see what happens. But yeah. So that's what I'm doing tonight. I'm going to put some greebling around here. Try to shore up this area with some work pinning this thing to the cage up top here. And then there's these sections that go next to the, so we can turn it. These sections right here that are, they're just basically just brick built next to this. I'm not entirely convinced that's the best way to do it. Because the domes are being held up by like these long Technic bricks. So I may attach to those instead, but there's nothing really going on up there that I can't redo if I need to. So, here's the beverage for tonight. It's Prairie Artesian Ales. It's a Blueberry Boyfriend. It's a sour. I'm not a real sour person, but I've had a day and I'm going to try it. Beth got a bunch of these and oh, no. Nope. Beth, you're going to have to drink this. Nope, that's terrible. That tastes like mothballs. Ugh. Well, I'll stick to water for a little bit because that is... Ugh. So I hope everybody's doing well tonight. Let me tell you about the day I've had. So not only am I... I'm going to get some parts real quick. So this is going to be a lot of this today. There's going to be a lot of going back and forth to get parts to bring over here to build stuff. But I'm going to try to get a handful so I can build some of this greebling and be on camera. And I just realized I may have shot myself in the foot a little bit because I don't have 2, 4, 6. I don't think I have enough solar panels to finish this top layer. So I may have to do something else. Let's see if I have enough of these. I need 6. So instead of solar panels up top here, I'm going to do something else. What's up, Haley? How's it going? Thanks for being here. Take these off so I can get to these tiles. So I don't know if you can see up top here too. I used all my solar panels to make a solar panel array that is, it's on a turntable so it can move. I can change direction of it. And then they're on hinges. They're on click hinges. So if I need to, I can do that. I'm not smart enough to figure out how to motorize it, but ideally it would have been cool to motorize it so that I could have it kind of... There was a guy who's building one who's in our group who he's getting light sensors attached to it as well. So he can... so they follow the light. They've got some photo receptors on it and he can program it to follow a light source. So his solar panels are great. And I feel a little, which is why I tend to overcompensate by building these giant things, because I'm compensating for the fact that they're not lit up. They don't have motors. But I like, you know, I've got a lot of parts and I'm okay just throwing a lot of parts at it and hope it survives the travels to get to the place. All right, so I need something to replace because I had solar panels down here. Had solar panels down here. A little more centered on that. Right? With these grill bricks. Haley, what have you been working on? Back to the Future stuff? And I gotta get on that backside too. Oh, I may not have enough for all of it. Man. I don't know why I thought I could get away with that. Well, I guess we're gonna do a different greebling on this level. I don't have enough of these. I already used 16 of these, and I think that's more than most people have anyway. These I had got a lot of these off that Justifier ship. There was like 12 of these on that, so I thought I had enough. On the drive-through, cool. So, is that what you're going to bring to Brick Rodeo? Is Back to the Future thing? I can't wait to see it. The only thing I've really seen is you were working on a road at one point, I think on Cliffstream, and you ran out of tiles. So I had some strings holding this down too, like guy wires, and it looked really cool, but very not practical because it's not just this. It would have been more stuff. So I can't use these. Now I have to think of something to greeble 4 sides here. 4 2x4 sections and 8 2x3 sections. And I don't think I have enough of these white curved slopes to go. I don't think I have 8 more white curved slopes. So I'm going to have to do something else. Let's think. At some point, I want to do some cabling just to make it look like there's cabling coming from like the underside of here to somewhere over here. Or maybe from the lower part here to the wall, but that's up here section. What I'm trying to do with this, because these domes are great, right? They look cool. You can put little figures in them, but for the playability part of it, it's fine because you can open the top, right? And do this, bring down the whole thing, right? These open the up like that. You can get in there and play with whatever. But practically, if you're looking at it, you're like, well, how did they get in there? These were sitting on top of a base, right? They were sitting on top of the lunar base that Lego put out a while ago. And if you're looking at it, you're like, well, there's no like hatch on the floor. So how did they get up in here? And I think what I'm trying to solve is that little mystery of how they got up in there. But what's up, Frankie? So these are supposed to be like walkways between this rising tower and these walkways here. So maybe something connects right in here, like another little slope kind of coming up. These are pretty cool pieces that I also got off the lunar orbiter, lunar space station thing. So I'm using those. And again, these aren't really attached to the Technic pieces, so I may go back and redo that to make it a little lower, but we'll see. And I may go back and open these up and put like some little grill plates next to the column. So in my mind, I'm thinking, okay, that's how they get in and out. Is there's a little portal kind of, or a little hatch that they can crawl in and out of. Nobody's going to see this. Nobody cares. It's going to be taller than the kids. It's going to be far back. Nobody's going to really care. So, but it's just for my while I'm playing with it kind of thing. Frankie, how you doing? Good to see you. I hope everything's going well. Any upcoming Lego sets that you have your eyes on? Not really. There's some that I want. I still haven't got the roses for the botanicals. Yeah, I'm not. I saw the D&D one. That's fine. I'm probably not going to get that. I still want like the piranha plant. I'm probably going to get all the space sets. I know March 1st is the a lot of the new Star Wars sets, the MIDI size ones, and those are inexpensive enough to where I could probably space those out for a little bit. I don't have to get them all at once. I've got a lot of things coming up where need to. spend a little money on some loose brick and bulk brick. So sets for a while may not be the most important thing. So, trying to think of something good for greebling here. So I was gonna do at one point some gold 2x2 round discs. You know what? Let me see if I've got enough of these ingots. So I like the ingots because they look like things that could be a pack of something on the outside. And I have a lot of tan. And I actually have a couple gold, but then I have all this like pearl gold. So the two different kinds of golds. The ink metal gold and the pearl gold color. So that's two different golds. Just got home from work. So let's see, if I wanted to do 4 of those, that's 16. Let's see if I've got 16 of these. Got my ingot drawer. I may have more actual gold than I do this pearl gold. We'll see. I always get nervous when I start using all of something in my collection, in my storage of bricks. I'm like, well, I'm using all of this. What if I need it for something else? Which is typical hoarder mentality. And then I have to remind myself I haven't used it at all for years. Like, I haven't used 16 gold ingots for anything in like ever. So anyway, cleaning up some stuff, sorting a little, get ready for the stream tomorrow. Cool. Had shrimp and grits for dinner tonight. Nice. Hello, James. How are you? Yeah, I'm up and about. I honestly wasn't feeling bad after like oh, and I totally spaced that we had a Wranglers meeting Monday night. Like, just slipped my mind. I don't know why. I wasn't feeling great, but then Tuesday I was fine. The onset of symptoms was Thursday of last week, and then I was really bad off. Well, I say that's when it started because that's when I got a sore throat, and I was like, well, this is interesting. I got a sore throat. And then I started feeling achy, and I was like, all right, well, I've got a couple things I need to run into the office for. I'll wear a mask. Nobody's there. It's a Friday. I did whatever 2 little things that I needed to do, and then I got out of there, and I didn't even see anybody. So I'm like, my boss was even sick because we're pretty sure that we got it from somebody at work. My boss and I got it together because we're both sick at the same time. So, so I wasn't all that sick after. And then Saturday and Sunday I was really bad off, but Sunday and then it was a 3-day weekend, which I'm like, well, this is a garbage way to spend a 3-day weekend. Don't need these plates right now. I do need to turn this. This is gonna be fun. Should be able to turn no problem. It's pretty stable. James, I did the you can tell Dove I did the same thing with the Mills plate with the bricks with the axles in them, and then some axles up through the bottoms of these things, and then I just plated around it and put longer bricks underneath the orange plates, and it works just fine. Plus, this thing's pretty heavy now, so it's weighing down the middle, so this bottom plate shouldn't be buckling all that much. But again, this thing is going to have to travel, so I think once I get it done, these domes come off pretty easily. They're just sitting on some plates. They're firmly on there because the surface area they have on the plates is on there pretty well, but they just come off of one level of plates, and they're pretty self-contained. So I could take them off. I can take this giant um, rotating uh, solar array off, and then this whole column should be able to travel pretty well. But I'll pack it really nice, and then it's going to sit on the habitat. But I'm not sure what I want to do about the habitat supporting that yet. Whether I want to do, because this will be pretty stable. Again, it's one of these things where as long as nobody bumps into the table, it'll be fine. So I don't know. Yes, meet the Jetsons. Jane, his wife. Okay, so now I need something along here because I like this. It's very spaced looking. I need something greebly along there. I've already got like some radial panels here and some heat sink looking, those sawtooth plates. And then I've got some stuff you can't see farther down here. Move it. Farther down, I've got like the turntable plate and some antennas and dots and grill plates to kind of make it look whatever. So trying to think of what else I can put right in here. And we'll sit here and ponder for a second. How are you doing, James? How's life? You'll stick with your oatmeal. Oh, you had shrimps and grits for dinner tonight. You'll stick with your oatmeal. You're not a fan of grits? So I'm not from Texas originally. And yeah, we're building. So the theme for Brick Rodeo is build up, right? And so there's going to be a lot of these things that are built tall. And there's going to be probably few of them that may not survive being built very tall. So we'll see. I don't know if I got enough. I don't think I have enough white. I was going to say white ingots, but I'd need like 24 of them, and I don't think I have 24 white ingots. I have 8 of those plates, and then I could do. Will you make a special minifigure squad? What's up, Micah? No, probably not a special minifigure squad, but we've got. I don't know where I put them. We've got the space, classic space figures for this, the red and white one, and then whatever these sets come with, which is all those like cool blue suited jumpsuit astronauts work suits, and then the orange like environmental suits. So I'm thinking that this is going to be populated with a few of those on each side. Let's see. Is this a thing I would want something to do with? How's that? How many of these do I have? I think I only have like 2. Yeah, I've only got a couple of these. Let me go look real quick. Wait for some music to kick back on. These are really cool pieces. I wanted to figure out how to use these. So these came in the set as well. They were like the front part of the base, and then like the garage was kind of underneath it, and the dome kind of went on top of it. So I have like 3 of them, and I thought it'd be cool to put this on top, but I put it up top and it just looked out of place. Like it didn't look like it worked very well. So I was like, no, I'd have to build a whole bunch of stuff in place just to get it to stay. So you can kind of see here what I've got going on. So there's a Technic brick right here, and then it's got a long axle or a long pin that connects to this lift arm. I got that on this side too, but this is in the way. So I'm going to do the same thing right here, is build a little thing that connects there that stabilizes this interior Technic cage to the outside shell. Ah, yeah. So I don't think it's any surprise really because there's 5 people on here, but James is building this ginormous Martian obelisk monolith um, using mostly the home plate shields, the gold home plate shields, and kind of like stacked together so it's like these stretched hexagons, but then like layered over each other. And it's probably twice this size. It's huge, right? 5-sided. And it's going to be kind of like part of the display, and it'll be like a team of scientists are investigating it and stuff. And I think it'll be fun. Um, and yeah, that'd be cool to set that up where it's like, then on the other side of the base, we're all distracted by this big obelisk. Then over here, there's like an invasion of these aliens. So I was telling James that I still had. I may have enough of that. 18. 4. I kind of want to save those because I feel like I'm going to use them elsewhere in the base. I'll figure something else out. Put these away. 40 inches tall, 60 studs across. That's going to be amazing. I have to be really careful with this because I am on top of the day I had like horrible dreams last night, and they were mostly of me walking in this room. So it was very. I don't generally have dreams where I'm in a room that I recognize. It's just the feeling that you get of, oh, I've been here before. But this was very much, I'm in my Lego room, and I was I was like trying to move stuff around, and everything I picked up had fallen apart, was falling apart. I was really, really upset. I have not seen what she put up on Discord today. Is it amazing? So I was telling James that I still have, and these came to me in like a previous relationship, divorce kind of thing. But I still have all these guys. These were Life on Mars Martians, right? Really weird figures. They're like droid bodies, but then they've got these weird little legs and then these funny little heads. So I'm excited. Maybe we can stick these guys in there somewhere. Let's look, shall we? Hopefully this doesn't screw much up. Where did let's do this. I'm only worried that this might screw up my camera because Discord goes yeah, you wanna switch input devices? I say no. So let's do design. Let's do text log. Let's do collaborations. Oh, nice. It's like a big hotel. Look at that. That's really swank. I really, really like that. Everybody's using these solar panels, man. That's groovy. But I do like that she's using a lot of those curved corner plates, and the top looks like it's part of the arbory or the botanical garden thing from Friends. And I like that the lower level still attaches. Oh, this is going to be amazing. Like, I think we're all going to, this is going to be really, really awesome, y'all. All right, I'm going to close that now. Hopefully I didn't lose focus. Come back. All right, cool. Yeah, it's just these handful of figs. That's it. And I've just been sitting on them for a while. I think what I'm going to have to do as well is remember to put lights on this thing, even if they're not actual lights. So like, got my drawer of, these are just translucent 1x1 round bricks. So, but like, these two things tend to be good space. I have to twist my arm to get that to show up. But like, somewhere on the top maybe. I don't know yet. Yeah, that's premature. I'll come back to that. Need to figure out this greebling thing here. I need a 2x3 greebling thing. I wish I had more handset phones. Those tend to work really well. And I do like pneumatic T-squares. The nozzle things, but you have to put a clip on there usually, or something with a stud in it to get it to stay. And they don't go sideways very well. Which is why I like those phones, because they can they actually just span across. And you can get 6 of them and just kind of cross that whole thing and you're done. And it looks like piping. Where I was going with my water. My water was not what I wanted to take back over here. All right. Maybe pretty basic, but let's see if this works. So I've got a handful of these. And then maybe some candlesticks. I don't know to what end of those would work, but if I want them sticking out, I'm trying to like think of a reason to have these up here too. Doesn't necessarily have to be the right reason, but see, this would be pretty cool just by themselves. Yeah, you know what? Until further notice. So I need 16 of these. So there's 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, 12, 14, 16. All right. So while I'm putting these up, let me tell you about my day and why today was such a garbage day and why I needed some booze at the end of it. So I'm already bummed because the COVID has rendered me isolated from everybody, at least for a 3-day weekend. Not super happy about that. But I'm like, all right, things happen. These are going to fall off, man. They're not on there very well. So I'm already kind of feeling a little cooped up. Not super happy about being in the house by myself. Beth was here for most of it, but she went back to work today. She still is testing positive too, but she's not running a fever. And her job is like, if you're symptom free and you don't have a fever, you're fine to come in. And I'm like, oh, I would not want to work at a place like that. But the CDC has said the same thing. If you are 5 days out from symptoms start and you haven't had a fever in 24 hours, you can go somewhere in a mask. After 10 days, you can go without a mask. That's if you're symptom free and fever free. So, so she was at work today and I was at home by myself. And first thing that happens is we have a little dog. We have 2 dogs and a cat, and the little dog is not 100% potty trained. The big dog is perfect. She comes up and whines at you when she wants to go outside. I try to walk them both in the morning, but lately, since I've not been feeling well, it's not been happening. So, but luckily we have a backyard. We just send them out in the backyard and I sit there and watch them. And when they're done, they go back inside. We don't let them out by themselves in the house when we're not here. They have crates, but when I'm here by myself, I usually wait for the big one to come up and say, hey, I have to go out. And then they both go out. The little one, we have pee pads by the back door and by our bathroom. Because those are the places we found that she likes to go to the bathroom. But she also likes going to the bathroom on cold tile, which is in our bathroom. She both pees and poops inside. 95% of the time, it's on the pee pad. You just pick up the pad, throw it away, any poop, just flush it. It's no big deal. It'd be the same as if she went outside and you picked up the poop and put it in the trash can. I got no problem with it. It's all clean. Yeah, I don't know. I mean, I know that they've got more and more data over the last few years to know, like, to study when people are still contagious. What's the transmission rate? They now have data on years worth of people being vaccinated. So they're like, okay, well, vaccinated and boosted people, it shows that their viral load is a lot lower. So I think it may feel like they're changing it to fit our I want to go back outside needs, but I also feel like they're a little behind. So I think it's a little bit of like catching up to like what we're doing already, but also without Fauci there, I think it's kind of a toothless organization. Anyway, I'm just following what they're saying, but I'm also not trying to get other people sick. Otherwise, it's 5 days out from symptoms tonight, and I could have gone to the trivia place with a mask on, but I'm like, nope, I don't want to get my friends sick. I don't want to get a bunch of other Star Wars nerds sick. Anyway, so, where was I? Okay, so the dog tends to poop inside sometimes. So I know that 2 things are happening today. One, I have to mow the lawn. It's very tall. It's like this, right? Because over the past few weeks, despite it being winter, all right, so the greebling's done up here. I need to work on this part up here. Despite it being winter, my grass in the backyard is lush and jungular, as it were. And my front yard is completely dead and brown. So I have no idea what's going on. But I'm like, all right, today's the day. It hasn't rained in a very long time, so the grass is not as wet. So probably going to be a little wet. The dogs are having a real hard time finding a place to go because the grass is so long. And if I can't take them for walks, they need to go in the backyard. So I need to cut that grass. Also, it becomes a warren for bunnies if it gets too long. So I'm like, I need to go cut it. And I'll continue as soon as I come back. So these are the kinds of things that I sort. Technic bricks in big bags, Technic pins in other big bags because I don't need a drawer. because I have a ton of them. Off my soapbox now. CDC quotes about the 5-day thing said something about having to be realistic about what people are willing to do. Oh, really? Yeah, I mean, I feel like had we done a lot of this kind of isolating in the beginning, it wouldn't have been a bad idea. It wouldn't have been as bad as it got, but we didn't, and so here we are. All right, so I'm going to need a 4x4 plate. And then I'm going to need a brick, 4x4 plate, and then a brick, or 2x2 brick. Two 2x2 bricks, and then a one of them. All right, so I'm gonna go get some more parts. Okay, hopefully I can just grab handfuls of what I need. We should be able to get this all done. So, provided it lines up the same as over here, we should be all right. So I can turn this a little bit so you can see what I'm doing. What way would be better? Guess it really doesn't matter. I'm going to be working right in here. So I wake up and I know it's Thursday, so I'm getting the house ready for the robot, the floor robot, to clean. Oh, that is a nasty, can't really tell how yellow that brick is, but it is not a good yellow, not a good brick. So I'm getting the house ready to clean from the robot. Beth and I have a tendency not to put our clothes away after we wash them. So we develop what we laughingly and lovingly called Mount Garment. Friends of ours call theirs Fashion Mountain. There's other nomenclature that other people have used, but basically it's just a big pile of clean clothes. So much so that it would probably be better if we washed them again. Because they've just been there so long. So I'm getting the house ready, clean everything up, and the robot runs at 9 o'clock like it does. Everything's off the floor. Everything's fine. I take the dog out. First of all, there's poop from overnight. I clean that up. I take the dog outside. Or no, lunchtime happens. I tell my coworkers I'm going to go mow. And now I'm recently recovering from COVID. So they're like, dude, take a break. And I'm like, I would love to, but the backyard is overgrown and I need to mow it so my dogs can go out in the backyard without getting lost. It's like it takes 10 minutes. If I'm not back in like 20 minutes, they're like, well, just be really careful because you get winded really easily. I'm like, I know. I appreciate the sentiment. All right, that's nice and snug. And then on top of that, we put one of these. Probably need to put another brick behind that. And I'll use this gross yellow brick that nobody can see. Gives a little backing here, so if I push anything against that, it won't collapse. Okay, so which means I need 3 more bricks. So I go mow, and it's a little more wet than I realized, but not enough to where it's a problem for the mower. Or a problem for me. I just get it done. And then I come back inside, and I was like, all right, guys, well, it's noon-ish. You need to go outside. The grass is freshly cut. You're going to love it because there's all kinds of room now for you to run around, right? And so I take them outside, and sure enough, they love it. They're running around. They're having a good time. So our backyard is a giant concrete slab. I think at one point it was just one slab, and then I think the previous owners or somebody decided to put 3 more slabs next to it and like slab in the whole kind of after you come out of the backyard kind of thing, that whole area, like they're going to make a half court basketball thing, right? And then once you get over here, there's like a little wooden porch or wooden deck kind of thing, and then some of the yard. It's not big, it's not huge. It's, I don't know, probably, trying to think, like 16 by 30. You know, it's not huge, but it's enough to kind of run around in and whatever for the dogs. So they go run around and they're having a good time, and they disappear around the side of the house. The side of the house, there's the patch of grass, and then the side of the house goes up to the front gate, and there's more grass along there. It's a really long stretch to the front gate, and I can't see them at that point. I'm sitting on the little wood porch, and they disappear, and I'm like, fine, they're off pooping or doing whatever they do. And they come back around the corner. I'm like, all right, time to go back in, guys. And they come back around the corner, and Aggie, the little one, who has white fur, white and brown and black fur. She's kind of like a calico looking dog. She's Chihuahua, but she's also like mini Boston Terrier. I'm going to get this off of here because it's too hard to squeeze all that on together. Like mini Schnauzer and Boston Terrier and Chihuahua. So she's like all the small dogs kind of crammed into one angry little gremlin. But she's the absolute cutest. And she comes back around the corner, and she is green. All her white fur is green. And let's see if I have a picture. Oh no, really? Well, that sucks too. Avs lost in overtime. Man. They've been struggling so much lately. So now, Aggie, can't really tell, is green. Her paws and her chest and her neck are all green. And I'm like, well, I have no idea how to deal with that. So we go inside, and I'm like, yep, that sucks. Let's get you some puppy wipes. And so I got some puppy wipes and wiped her down a little bit, and that was about all I could do for her. I'm like, I have no idea what else to do with this. Turns out you can mix baking soda like any other thing that has a stain. Mix baking soda and water, make a paste out of it, put it on there, let it sit, come back, wash it off. And I'm like, I'm not going to do that on a dog, a squirrely little dog. I'm not going to sit there and put baking powder paste on her, baking soda paste on her. She's going to try to lick it off, or she's going to claw at me or whatever. So I'm like, all right, tell you what, I'm going to clean it as best I can with some wipes, some puppy wipes. And then you know what? You're going to be green for a while until it like grows out. There's nothing I can do about it. I'm not going to deal with it. So she's hilariously green right now, which I think is funny because Austin FC's first game is Saturday. So she's just getting into the spirit. She's Verde and black right now. So I come back in. She's green. I hear the robot start again. And it's at like, it starts at 9, goes to 9:45, dumps everything off, runs for a little bit longer, and then goes back and recharges. but it only recharges to a point where it goes, okay, I'm recharged enough to complete the cleaning of the whole house. So it starts again at about like 2, right? Usually right in the middle of me having a meeting at work, and I've got to pause it and let it clean later. So because of the green stuff, I don't even notice that it's going. I'm trying to get back to work and finish some stuff. And then for a second, I'm like, wait a minute, what's going on with the robot? I don't hear it. Usually I hear it go vacuum. It goes back to its base thing and it vacuums really loud to get everything out. And then it plays a song. And I'm like, I never heard that song. So I'm wandering around the house and I can't find it. And I do find where's the shark. And it plays a tune, and I go, oh, it's under the bed. It says its roller is stuck. I was like, well, it probably found a cord or something. So I go and I flip it over, and the whole bottom side is covered in poop. And I'm like, oh, you're kidding me. And so I go look in the bathroom, and sure enough, it drove through. Little one came inside, despite being outside that whole time, came inside and immediately went and pooped. And the robot ran through it. So, and then it did its own thing for a while longer, which means now it's all caked on the bottom of this $400 Roomba. All right, so the next thing I need to do is figure out this situation here. Honestly, I'm not happy with these not attached, and I'll show you why. These are not attached to these underneath here. They were in front. And I don't like that. I'd rather them... I'm going to build it out. I like the width to here, but I'd rather not them not be attached here. So I'm going to have to build this out a little bit. And I don't know how to do that just yet. Maybe just get more Technic bricks. How long do those have to be? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 12. So we can get some 12. They don't even have to be Technic bricks. They can just be bricks. That might be better. Really long ones of these. And then I had a bag of other long ones. Bag of long bricks. If it gets too long, I can't put them in a drawer. Which looks La Cucaracha is the tune. You mean the music we're listening to? I don't know what that is. So I'm going to take all these off. So I go get the robot and it's disgusting. And so then I spend the next, 30 minutes or whatever, flip it over, get as many alcohol wipes and Q-tips and 409 and paper towel and whatever else that I can to clean it. And I finally get it clean. So I have 8 of these. That'd be great. Be a good start at least. 5, 6, 7, 8. I think a couple of these have some yellowed ends on them. Don't really want to use those, but in a pinch. Cleaned off the poop off the bottom of the robot. And see how far I want to go in with these. To there. That'll give me a lot of room here. Great. Yeah, and then I can plate up the bottom of that. That's nice. It's much nicer. So little dog also has had some health issues with that. She has been a little barfy. more so lately than in the past. And we're gun shy because, as some of you may know, our last dog, the dog before we got Kaylee, suffered from something called mega esophagus, which is not a transformer. It's actually a condition in which the throat of said critter paralyzes open. And swallowing becomes kind of impossible. And you have to gravity feed them. For humans, it's not as bad because we're upright and we eat upright. So our our esophagus is aligned. So, if we just sat there and chewed and it just fell down into our stomach, that'd be fine. If we laid down, we might like regurgitate or something like that. And some of us who are older might know this, as the feeling of that is like I'm up at night because of acid reflux or something. But because dogs are like this, they can't eat facing down. They eat and they can't swallow. So everything just kind of sits. So they have special chairs they sit in called Bailey chairs. Pioneered by somebody who had a dog named Bailey. And it basically means that they were sitting in this little box like chair. It's just a box that kind of would hold them up. It had a little gate in the front, and they would sit with their paws up on this little thing, and you'd put the bowl of food right in front of them, and they would eat it, and then they would sit there, and you'd have to let them sit there for like 20, 30 minutes, depending on the size of the dog, and just let the food find its way into the belly by gravity. The chairs are expensive because they're custom made. You can't just go to a pet store and buy a Bailey chair. You have to contact the company who makes them for you based on the measurements of your dog. And you get them and they're very nice. Nicely carved wood, leather on the inside, or at least like a faux leather. So it's comfortable on the seat and on the back. Because they're in there. They have to be kind of fit a little snug because if they squirm around and stuff, they can get sores on their hips or they can do it. So they have to be made to fit the dog. What you can do afterwards is there's also like a website that says, if you can't afford a new one, here's how big my dog was. Here's the measurements. And the Bailey chair people know about this. And they're like, yeah, that's great because we can't make enough chairs for everybody, obviously, but so there's like a donating kind of thing. Ours was donated to a lady and her husky or German Shepherd in maybe in Kyle, but it was south of here. They had a dog with mega esophagus. So all that to say is when our little dog starts, and it's very common in dogs and horses, apparently. When our little dog starts regurgitating, we freaked out. We're like, well, we don't want any of this nonsense. All right, so what's that gap there? That's 3. I don't think I have a 3 on these guys. Let me go get some parts. Constantly bringing over whole drawers of parts so I can sit here and do the work. I don't need these anymore for right now, so I'm going to trade these out. So I'm trying to get as much of this done as I can because I want to start working on the Horizon stuff, but I want this off my plate. And at some point I'll be like, you know what? That's good enough. That brick is not going down all the way. So anyway, little one, last few months, has been barfing, and we're not really sure why. But and the doctor's not even really sure why. But there are some things it might be. So after I get done cleaning the poop off the robot, the green off the dog, sitting there in my office, just trying to get back to work. And I look over it, and there's a day bed in my office. And both dogs kind of sleep up there when I'm working. And I look over at the little one, and she's doing her little, and her mouth is starting to water. And I'm like, oh no, let's go outside. So we go running outside. I'm glad I saw this. It's not the same length that I wanted. And she proceeds to horf. So I'm glad I caught it when she was going outside, or enough to where I could get her outside. But I mean, and then I got to cancel my Star Wars trivia, and then I test positive again for COVID. So I'm like, I'm ordering Freebirds tonight, and I'm drinking a beer. And I only got one of those because I was out of beer. Which is why I tried to have this sour that Beth had left in the fridge. She wasn't going to drink it. But it's gross. Don't like it. So yeah, not a great day. I really needed to get out of the house, and I couldn't. So now these may not be 100% lined up, but they're lined up enough for government work, and it'll work out fine. So now that that's cleaned up, put another plate under there. That's going to be, this is going to be 6 by plates. Although, let's see, do I make it sturdier by putting a plate under it first? I have had a crappy week. My day was not as bad as have if I was also an AT&T customer, that would have been the perfect crappy week. Because I wouldn't have been able to text anybody. I would have been like, Beth, who do I complain to? So this section is going to have to be filled and then connected somehow. So I'm wondering what happened to all these guys. So these are the old sections that I had under here. So I could probably do with just kind of removing these and see what I have that'll fit. But I think I want to do plates under there first to hold it steady. So 6 by, see if we can get a couple 6 by 6 plates in here. You guys get to see all the organizational things. So this is part of a large 3-drawer system, and these are all my 6 by plates and larger. So anything that's 6 by 6 or larger is in here. 8 by 8, 8 by 12, whatever. There's a lot of them. So, but I do have 6 by plates. Let's just see how big these need to be. I've got these nice big gray ones. Oh man, that's perfect. So I can get a bunch of these. A bunch. I need 4. These will be perfect. Haha. Didn't even need to bring this whole thing over here. Now I just need to put them on here without totally destroying the whole thing. So then I have a whole other giant drawer like that that's 4 by plates. So 4 by 4, 4 by 6, 4 by whatever. And they're just in there. All right, let's see. Made the mistake of greebling some of this earlier. So I don't really have a way to squeeze these on here. know what? No, I kind of need that. That's nice and crisp now. Yeah. And then I can put something under there to even make it a little more stable. To come out to here. Groovy. I'm just going to keep turning this to get a good angle of it. Yeah, so not a great day. Luckily, work wasn't bad. I didn't have a ton of things going on at work, mostly because the giant network thing that we were planning on doing had been canceled due to two of the three of us who were going to be working on the project out due to COVID. So there's that. Hoping tomorrow's better. I got a bunch of tests. We'll see how I'm feeling or how the tests go because I'm feeling fine. That's part of the other thing that sucks is the only symptom I have left now is anger at having to stay inside or having to stay away from people. Now, Beth has had COVID too, and her symptoms a little worse than mine, which is weird because I think she got it from me. But also, her entire wing of where she works in outpatient support, outpatient therapy, group therapy. But there's an inpatient wing, and that whole wing, there's been a ton of people. They had an outbreak, and then there's a ton of people that had it. So they've been trying to stay away from that wing, that whole group. But like the company's kind of like trying to. I guess that doesn't perfectly line up. There's another plate under there. That's fine. They've been trying to like integrate more with some stuff, and Beth's group is like, no. We're not going near those people. Now I can put these on. So let's see. I can probably do one without that. So let's do just that. Massa better. That accent was probably slightly racist. I apologize. This is the only problem with building like at this scale on top of other things is I can't really get a good I can't get good leverage to like squeeze stuff together. So hopefully that doesn't translate into this thing's gonna fall apart, but you never know. Like that's good. And that's good. So that's probably alright. I don't know which way that was going. Let's do these two, and then these two, and then this one got knocked off somehow. Still 6, 8x8, and then 6. Why don't I just do that all together? Let me see if this works better. Change my mind. Yeah, I like that better. The only difference is that's not going to be the same. You know what? Let's make that flush for now. And we'll worry about this later. This way. I love the physics on the dome. I have to press down on the dome to get like pressure on it to be able to hold it in place. As long as you're pressing down on the dome in its entirety, you are not crushing it in one section. Kind of like an egg, you can hold the egg all together and squeeze and it won't do anything. Well, for the most case, it won't do anything. There's always those things that are like, I can't squeeze this egg and it won't fall apart and blah, blah, blah. It's like, yeah, I bet I could crush that egg. But if you poke one section of it, it falls apart instantly. I'm only leaving this little gap here because I might... Oh, you know what I just realized is I could put a slope here and cover that. Use this to connect. See if I can find that. Just like... something like this. Just like a little tube or something up there like that. So it's a little greebled. Maybe two of them. Two of these little things. Oh, that's a... to give it a look of like there's tubing coming from here. There's also, I have a lot of those the tubes with the almost the cone ends that you can attach. So I might try to do that just to give it like some cabling along here so it looks like power is running or something. So of the new stuff that's coming out, what are you guys looking forward to the most? I know Greg had asked that earlier about what sets we've got our eyes on. I had said space sets for the most part. The MIDI scale Star Wars sets. What else is coming out that you guys want to get? I know some Harry Potter stuff was coming out. Still not sure how Lego is justifying or rectifying, or what's the word that I'm looking for? Squaring that. Still working with Harry Potter, but that's whatever. I don't work for Lego, so I can't really tell. Is there any new like Speed Champions coming out, or I think Animal Crossing was coming out soon, right? This reminds me of, for some reason, my mom used to make wedding cakes when I was a kid. Not for me, but for people who were getting married. She was a wedding cake maker. She's pretty good at it, I would guess. I don't remember much because it was when I was really young. But I do remember having to carry cakes from where she made them at home to whatever venue that the wedding was going to be. squeeze down any more than that. Saving for a certain giant black tower with an eye at the top potentially. So I know that set hasn't been around in a while. Did you find one online? They're not reissuing that set, are they? Am I out of the know? Anyway, my mom would make wedding cakes, and I remember sitting in the front seat, driving places, carrying the very top section in my lap. Because that was the best way to carry a top section. You couldn't really put it in a box. You could put the other bits in a box, but you could not put that top section in a box. All right. These corners up here I want to be done with real quick. Do we have 3x3 wedge or 3x3 slopes? Well, I can't talk about rumors. I mean, I can. I don't care. I hadn't heard that. So kind of a reissue. Didn't we have a... Oh, we had Orthanc originally, didn't we? As a Lord of the Rings set. Didn't we have Orthanc? We didn't have Barad-dûr. There's a really good TikTok account if you guys watch TikTok. It's called the Fantasy Annex, and it's this little, I want to say Pakistani guy. Big glasses, awesome hairdo, and he always talks like this. He always says this. He always says this. He always says this. Right? And he says, follow for more content. Follow for more fantasy content. But he is like, he's like Colbert level, or one of my friends' nerd level of understanding Tolkien lore and stuff. It's pretty good. If you're into that, if you're into Tolkien stuff. So yeah, now I feel a lot better about like squeezing down a lot of these greebling things. So I did some greebling at the top. So that's some of the greebling up there. Just some wiring, because I wanted to make it look like it was feeding the domes from some solar power. So it's got some insulated stuff. Just, fun stuff. I like the color coding for some reason. I felt like that looked kind of official. I don't know why. All right. And now the camera's all wonky. So I am still saving for, and I mean saving by, I probably need to cancel all my streaming services because I can't do both at the same time. I can't save and watch all the shows that I want to. I don't have black of those. Let me go see if I've got black of those. That might be good. So here's another storage section. Arco bin full of 2x1x2, 1x4 snot bricks. Let's see if I have enough black 1x4s to fill these holes. I'm with you there. We just got HBO back after 2 years without it. Just started Last of Us. So I don't watch Peacock. I may get rid of Peacock until the Olympics, and then I'll get it back. Hulu and Disney Plus are part of my Verizon bundle, so that's kind of all together. And that includes ESPN Plus, which the only thing I use ESPN Plus for is hockey. Paramount we actually use quite a bit. There's a lot of shows on there I like. Apple Plus I probably could have done without for the past few months, but now MLS is started, so I'll be able to watch games on it if we don't go or if they're out of town. Netflix, honestly, is probably the least that I watch. Um, I'm watching a show on it now, but half the time it's only like stand up that I watch on Netflix. Prime, I think we just pay for because we get shipping and stuff with it, and that's Beth's account. But I watch a bit on that. HBO, we watch a few things like Doctor Who. I'm starting to watch Deadwood. Yeah, so probably Peacock, but that would save me $10 a month. I mean, that's not going to give me a Venator. I'll tell you that much for free. All right. So yeah, this is a good example of the hodgepodge of storage. So like, I've got 7 or 8 different sized Arco bins, maybe more than that. A lot of stuff sits in bags, but they sit in bags in giant Sterilite drawers. So I have one drawer that's all curved and wedge slopes, but they're each individually bagged. So like the 2x2 curve slopes, 1x1 curve slopes, inverted curve slopes, and then you got like the right and left angled slopes, right and left curve slopes. They're all individually different things. And that's just like that all over. I am not going to have enough of them in 1x4. So maybe 1x2, and then yeah, let's do 1x2. So 8 of these. See, I just started watching an anime on Netflix. Speaking of Demon Slayer, and I'm not even going to try to pronounce the Japanese portion of that. It's pretty good so far. It's a shonen. It's a shonen jump thing, so it's very young boy wish fulfillment kind of show. Young kid becomes a great demon hunter, swords master, to try to save his sister, who's turned into a demon. And it's fine. I mean, it's kind of grabbed my attention. I almost don't care like what happens now. Now that I know like kind of the story, I'm like, okay. So it's okay. I was told that House of Ninjas was pretty good, so I'm going to try that. Deadwood's great. I love Deadwood. The writing, the dialogue in Deadwood is really, really good. It's a little too Machiavelli, too many houses playing against each other too soon. Like there's not like some downtime. It's like everybody's always on and everybody's always trying to screw each other, like constantly. Like, wow, you guys don't let up for a moment, do you? All right, so next step is going to be connect this to this, or I guess fill this in. Oh yeah, let's do this. Will that actually be? Do I have a lot of inverted ones? So the other thing, I was going to fill in this little gap right here. I need to figure out how to do that. Maybe just a hinge plate of some kind. Oh, I know what I was going to look for real quick. I got these as part of lug bulk and part of Mars base. No, we didn't get these for Mars base. These are just lug bulk. I don't think we got them for Mars base. So I'm going to put these up here. So right up here, there's a 3x3 space. Put this guy in there and then fill in behind it. So this should tie it a little bit together with the Mars base because there's some rounded areas in that. And then go get the rounded. Actually, before I do that, I'll go get the pieces. So I need 1, 2, 3, 4, 8. 8 of those, and then I can get the other plates from down here. So this may be one that I have to go dig through my parts for the Mars base. Unless I have them in here already. A bunch of these. But then underneath it, let's do a bunch of these red squares. Do you guys build mocks like this where there's going to be a piece in here that nobody's ever going to see? It's going to be covered up. It doesn't matter. It's purely structural. But do you guys try to build it so it matches? Like if you have an orange over here, do you do orange all the way around or do you care? Faces in shadow constantly. Like, it shouldn't matter to me. I could pick one color and just do that. But, like, why not pick all the same color? That makes my head feel better. Almost like it was made to be that way. All right, let's see if I can find enough of these guys in here. Or if I have to go look for them. Might be easier to go look for them in another bag. Sorry, Mario, your piece is in another bag. What's up, DY? How's it going? I indeed did have them in another bag. Thanks for being here. We are working on the Mars Dome Tower doodad thing. That's nice. That makes my brain happy. This bit up here at the top. I love it when a plan comes together. So what are you up to, DY? Hey, speaking of space stuff, did you guys hear we landed on the moon? American, US-based innovation machines or innovation something or other sent a autonomous vehicle. Don't really know what that means, but it's not a rover and it's not a helicopter and it's not anything. um, to land on the moon. And this afternoon at about 5:30, they did it. It landed on the moon. Yeah, Odyssey. I am one of the nicknamed the Odyssey. And the company is like innovative machines or something like that. Private. It's a private company. And I forget what rocket it went up in. Whatever rocket went up in, it was about 3 months ago. Um, Probably NASA or SpaceX. But yeah, so tracked it all day. And when it landed, they're like, well, we're just waiting for signal now. And at first, everyone was like, oh no, there's no signal. The thing died. But turned out that it just took a second for the signal to show up, and it was pretty weak. But they have contact, and they're ready to get going with the experiments that they're doing. It's in kind of a dark side of the moon area. I forget what the area was called where they landed. So we'll see how it goes. All right. Let's see. All right, I'm gonna put these back. These I'm gonna I'll keep these out. I have boxes of this is Mars-based raw material. Use this to build. I want to get a brick here, and then some inverted slopes if I have enough. Might have enough. So we've had some exciting space news lately. You guys been following. Don't think I'm going to have enough here. 1, 2, I'm going to need 8. 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Huzzah. With a couple left over. This is my bag of inverted curve slopes. Very small bag. Let's see how this looks. Not too bad. And then a 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14. 1 by 14 or 1 by 12. This song, man, I don't understand. It's so atonal. We've had the Odyssey land on the moon. We've had a satellite crash into the world recently. Satellite ran out of fuel, so they brought it back down to Earth. Used what fuel it had left, and they let it burn back up into the atmosphere. Came down. I think they said it came down over the Pacific, but I also heard stories so I follow a satellite because of course I do. I'm such a nerd. There's a satellite tracking website that I like to follow. It tracks all near Earth orbit objects, like basically orbital trash, but satellites and stuff too. And it had it going down somewhere over the Pacific, but then we had people say, oh, we saw somewhere over Italy, they saw a big fireball. And I'm like, okay, well, I don't know. Both can't be true. So I don't know which one it was. Anyway, that happened. And then we had SpaceX had 4 rockets go up in one day. and I think they all went up. I saw 2 of them. And I don't think there were any rapid unscheduled disassemblies. So I think they were all successful. I need to add to this section of shelving over here, which you can't see because the other space station is in the way, but I want to get the, what's the big satellite that was a, I'm thirsty and I know this beer tastes like garbage, but I need to wet my throat a little bit. Atlas, was it Atlas? Where it was an idea set and it didn't make it, so they put it up on Rebrickable. Or it was a gift with purchase or something, but the guy put it up on Rebrickable. These can go back. These can all go back. These can actually... Well... yeah, I'll leave these out. So there's PDFs for it, for the instructions. I just need to get all the parts. I should have done another, well, I can do more snot bricks down there. All right, so what do I need now? I need long plates. Drawer full of long plates. And I love bringing all this over into the light so that I can see these god-awful yellowed, you can't really see it. The closer it gets to the light, you can't really see it, but you can kind of see it from there. These yellowed plates. Put those aside. And when it gets, when that dish gets full, it gets sent outside. Yee. Some of these are almost tan. They get sent outside to be soaked. Almost have enough to do that. Oh, you know what pieces would be great right here? Some arches. Those would be amazing. I don't think I have many white arches, though. Like those half arches. That would be pretty spectacular. Let me see if I can find those. Let's get these attached first, though. These are 1 by 12? That's pretty good. Is that 12 really, or is it 10? No, 1 by 12. I need 8 of these. So this is why at this point I'm sorting by part type. These are 1 by and then longer than 4, but also just black and white. So I've got 3 different drawers of this. I've got this and then gray of this and then colors of that. So it's broken up and it's very, very easy to find it that way. So if you're watching and you sort by color, I'm going to shame you and tell you should do it by part type until you get enough to then do it by color. But I'm not your caretaker. I'm not your Lego organizer. You do whatever you need to do to make your world work. Oh, you know what? I did that and I didn't realize that should be another plate. That should be another just 6 by plate. What am I thinking? Go back and get those 6x plates again. Makes life so much easier. Like a little box. Actually, what I want to do bigger Arco bins. It's all arches. Let's see if I've got any half white. I don't think they come in half white. All the half arches I've seen are usually brown, so you can make trees out of them. There's tan. So I'm okay doing a different color as long as it fits with the scheme. Like if it's black or white or dark gray or light gray. But I don't think I'm going to have 8 of any of those. I could do black, but it's the wrong direction. So anybody else into space stuff? Not just Lego, but like actually into like following NASA, space news, latest missions, things like that. Yeah, see, this is the part I was thinking of. That would have fit great. But don't think they exist. Oh, cool. Dark tan. But still. Oh, look at that. You even have them in that lavender. Oh, looks like I have one. Oh, 2. But they're kind of small. These are the sizes I have. Not going to be great. Not worth figuring out how to get them up there. Certainly not 8 of them. All right, so back to doing them with inverted slopes, probably. But I'll get my big box of James's favorite parts, 6x and larger. Okay, that would work. And that would work. So I have 4 of these. That would be most excellent. I think even if I had to come up short with a couple of these, it would be okay. Oh, I thought you were going to put tires on it? Oh, favorite part, yeah. Yeah, James's favorite part is tires. Don't let him talk you out of it. He's going to tell you it's not, but it actually is. Deep down in the cockles of his heart, as Dennis Leary said, maybe in the subcockle area, maybe even in the colon. That's not big enough. This piece still cracks me up. It's an 8x8, but it's trans blue. Sometimes you get a part like this and you're like, what? This almost needs its own like bag. Like I would need to like put it somewhere nice. Oh, I remember doing this exercise recently and I hated it. I've got these two, which work, and then everything, like, then I don't have anything in between, and then it just gets real small. Some of these pieces are also very grody. Like, use them in a while and they need to be brushed. Let's see if I can find my brush real quick. Thought I had it up here. I don't know if you can see this or not. How sort of grody. It's just an old part. So I'm going to try to go at it with a watercolor brush real quick. Even though the dirty part's going to be on the inside, you're not going to be able to see it. I also kind of want to get it clean while I can. Cleaner. Some of these are just pretty old and they were together in a set for so long that they get a little faded. Little bits of fadedness. This one was with that. Then, after all that digging, it makes me want to go through and find plates that are just as big, in a different color, because I don't want to waste time. Looking for all those plates. Only to be stymied. Ugh. Aha. Okay, cool. Yeah, it's fun to get like, oh, I'm building this thing. My big fat watercolor brush does pretty good. It's big soft bristles. I have 2 of these. This one, just the handle broke off. And these are ones that I haven't used in a very long time, if at all. And honestly, I'd rather use that than, I could probably buy a new makeup brush, but if I were to use one of Beth's, it would probably make the brick worse, just because there's a lot of makeup on those brushes. I'd have to get a new one. Sorry, babe, I've absconded with one of your brushes to make a Lego set. Yeah, it's always fun to get a piece that you're like, that's perfect. And then you find 2 more and you're like, perfect. These must come in pairs. Most of the time, Lego parts come in pairs when you're making a set. You get 1 slope, you look into the box, there's 2. You're going to have 2 slopes. For the most part, they're like that. Lego sets are symmetrical. That is until recently, when you get a lot of landscaping stuff where it's not 100% symmetrical. But and there we are. So you get 3 giant plates that you think are going to work perfectly. And you're like, sweet, there's got to be a 4th one in here. And then you can't find that 4th one. And you're like, well, nuts. All right, well, it is almost 10 o'clock. I'm going to get these plates on here, and then I think I'm going to wrap it up. I know it doesn't seem like we did a lot of work today, but getting these things attached and getting these things built out is a huge load off my mind. And I feel like now all I have to do is put some stuff in between here and fill up these corners a little bit. And it's as done as I'm going to get it. And I really like the way it's turning out. And I'm glad you guys are here keeping me company. I had a garbage day, but I think this helped turn it around, so to speak. Playing with... Yeah, I have no idea where that makeup brush went, babe. And she's not going to look in this room. I think she's afraid of this room. I should be back on Sunday. I don't know that I'll do anything. I might, if you guys are okay, I might do this, work on this some more. I don't think, I've ordered some parts for my Horizon machines, and that's going to be some building streams for sure. Once I get all those parts, that's going to be a lot of fun, but that won't be for a while. So I'll probably just keep doing this if y'all are okay with it. And if we get bored with this, I can always pop into a studio and do some like microfighters or something. But I don't think I'm going to have some sets for a while to build, just because I don't have any now. I don't see myself spending any money on anytime soon. So, but yeah, so here you go. That's where it is. Yeah, come by tomorrow night to Johnny's channel to see him finishing his mock. Are you working on the Bowser thing stage for the piano? Is that what you're working on? And then I'll be back Sunday to either work on this some more, or we'll see what we're going to do. But again, thanks for coming by and keeping me company. And I hope you have a good weekend, and I'll talk to you later.